Hey, guess where we are? We are at Damerells Motorcycles in Fradden in Cornwall. Toby's over there getting ready to do a review on a bike. It's absolutely freezing today and it is really, really windy. Oh look, there's our bikes over there. Anyway, look at this little monster. This is the new 1100 Africa Twin Sports. Damerells have given it us to take it for a ride out. So love the colour scheme, I think it's awesome, love the bike, and there's so much to do on this bike. It's about 30 kilos lighter. I think it weighs, I've got that wrong now, I think it was 250 kilos, it's now 230 kilos. It's 100 brake horsepower, it's only gone up 100 cc. It's got the Honda smart luggage thing, so you don't have to have racks on it. You can buy, there are metal panniers I believe, but there's certainly definitely the plastic ones. What else? This isn't the DCT version, this is just the normal geared version. There's so much new on it. I'm going to switch on the dashboard and hopefully you can see that, but look at this, watch. Look at that, it's like watching telly. It will eventually come up. There you go, there's all that sort of stuff. A touch screen, touch sensitive screen, which isn't temperature sensitive, it is actually pressure sensitive, so that will be nice to use. There's a little digital screen down below it. There's so many modes on that big screen there that you can go through. There are 3 different ride functions, and within each ride function there's 3 others. So, you know, amazing. Got an adjustable screen, which if you squeeze those things together, it comes up. Look at that. And apparently clips back in there like that. Lots to do on it. 24 and a bit litre tanks. You can now put a top box on the back of the bike as well. You couldn't previously. And it looks awesome. Let's go. I'm ready to go. This is the standard bike, so it has the standard seat on it. We did try a lowered seat. But this one's fine. Apparently this bike has been narrowed, so it's not so much the wide thing it was previously, because obviously when we last looked at it, when it first came out, there were a few issues with you know, ride height. You know, sort of not very tall people would struggle with it, even with a lowered seat on it. So they have got a lowered seat for this, but they made the bike narrower. And whereas you'd think this is the Adventure Sports, like the old Adventure, you sort of go, well, this is the off-road version of it. It's not true now. They've changed this one round to be the Tour version, and the standard Africa Twin, if you want, which is the 18 litre tank version, that is now the off-road version of it, because this is just a bit of a beast on it. So we'll crack on. Instantly this feels lovely. So it's not a shaft, it's got a chain, which is keeping in line with the Africa Twin ethos, I suppose. Nope. Just trying to work out where all the switches and buttons are. Look at that control thing there, it's massive, there's loads of stuff on it. I've changed the screen, God knows what I was doing now. Now you'd think with a 21-inch front wheel this would be a little bit weird, but it doesn't feel out of place at all. Nice big wing mirrors on it. Just coming over the top of the hill at Fradden on the A30, and then we're going to turn off quite quickly. But you'll come over the top and you'll see a lovely view of Cornwall. So initial impressions are, I liked the last Africa Twin, thought it was a really nice bike, loved it, I'd buy it. You know what, I think this is better. I like the screen's awesome, you can get Google Maps on it once you connect your phone to it. There's so many different screens and things you can go through. I've been riding it for just a couple of minutes now and the heated grips are already up to temperature, and you can change the temperature of those quite easily. This bike comes with running lights that are fitted into the headlamps. It also comes with cornering lights that come on when you tilt the bike over 30 degrees, I believe, which we're not going to be able to see today. So we're going just to the right here now. Do you know, it feels really sure in the corners. It's not done many miles, this bike. The screen is really easy to see, there's so much information on it. When it was set up, it was put up into Tour mode for you, Tour Gold or something. And when it has Tour Gold, you see the bottom of the screen, it's got all these little circles and things. Well, that means it gives you all the information that the bike can possibly give you. So the seat is a bit hard, but you know, I think it's comfortable. It certainly feels nice. It's definitely not as wide as the original one, which they've shaped the seat so you as you sit further forward on the seat, it's more comfortable. You don't feel like your legs are being pushed apart. Do you know what, I like this. So you have the big screen in front of you with all the information on. Below you just got a little digital screen that gives you tells you your gear and also the speed and how many miles you got left in the tank. And then the big screen has got miles per gallon, average miles per gallon, average consumption, how much fuel you got left in gallons, and then it's got the speed, it's got a clock, tells you the heated grips are on. There's a Bluetooth sign there so you can connect your phone to it, which is pretty cool, which is obviously way ahead now for speed bikes. You've got the rev counter. So the red line at this is at 8,000 RPM. Oh, good lord, the wind is horrific today. Well, you don't need to put 2 feet down, but you definitely have to today. It's a very light bike. I mean, it weighs 230 kilos, I think it is, but if you compare it to other adventure type bikes, this feels really, really light. I've had these types of bikes on tours with me, and they've been awesome all the way through. There was one bike we had and there was a problem with the start switch, and apparently that's an issue with these Africa Twins, the newer ones. I would imagine by now they'd have sorted that problem out. If you look on the forums, it mentions it a few times, so obviously there was an issue there, and I'm sure that's been dealt with now. But it's built like a Honda, isn't it? Well, it's a Honda, so it's built properly, you know. There's not a lot of fuss, but if it's been made correctly, and you know it's going to last you. The screen in front of me has 5 different settings. I've got it on the lowest setting at the moment. I think that's about right, actually. If it was much higher, it would be impeding my view over the screen. I actually don't like to have the screen right in my eye line, if that makes sense. Nice big wing mirrors. Very, very torquey. And this has been tweaked so that, because it's not expected to go off-road unless you really want to, and it's got all the modes in the system to allow you to do that. This has been tweaked so that the low-down power is more suited for a touring bike. And the difference between this one and the original one they made is like chalk and cheese, because that was a bit of a beast to ride. This is an awesome bike, don't get me wrong, but you can tell that it's been adjusted, shall we say, so it fits a more touring orientated ride. You can now fit a top box on the back where you couldn't on the other one, and that will allow, if you're carrying a pillion, to rest on it. Like I say, it's got this new not new luggage system, it's the Honda luggage system that fits in perfectly. Lots of engine braking on this, as you would expect from a 2-cylinder. I did find in second gear then that it was a bit jerky, maybe because the revs are quite high on it as I was coming down that hill there, and I'm not really used to it. As soon as you drop the throttle off, instantly it's the engine braking is pulling you down. It's quite reassuring, really. And we're off. I can understand what they're saying about a touring bike now. It really is good at pulling away, and this would have no issue with carrying 2 people and baggage as well. It feels really sure in the corners. Even with the 21-inch wheels, some bikes feel like they want to run on a little bit, you know, but this feels very, very positive. Not sure what the tyres are on it, but it certainly feels very nice. Has a lean angle indicator apparently, which is the de rigueur thing to have on bikes now. For those who want to spend their time looking at the screen, I'd sooner look at the scenery and the road around me. Nice little country lanes for taking your bike round. This morning these are all thick with mud and rain. They've dried out a little bit. Do you know, I've got this, just noticed now, it's in third gear. My hand is off the throttle and it's just pulling itself along. No engine braking there at all. How very odd. Oh, this is awesome. I love it. It's comfortable. Your knees fit in the tanks at the tank at the right place. It's not uncomfortable to ride. You know, you ride bikes and sometimes they're very sloppy and wallowy, and it's like, oh god, you know, have I got to really ride this thing? This feels tight. It feels dynamic, and I'm not saying that 'cause it's got a dynamic road thing. It just feels very, very sure-footed, like this is what we're going to do, you know, let's ride. It's forgiving, you know, you can pull away low speeds in quite a high gear. You can set it up to so many different programs. This switch cluster on the left hand side, there's a little star button on there, and you can set that. So for example, if you were riding on a road like now and we turned off and suddenly it became a track, you can preset like a track riding setup into the system. Woo, that was a bit windy. Press that star button and it will change over instantly to that group of settings, so you can go straight onto a track, press the button, and you can be riding in a track mode straight away, and that will adjust the power, the traction control, the ABS, everything. And there, I think there's 3 different user settings, and like I said before, you can set 3 different modes into each user setting, which is just phenomenal. And then I sat there and thought, would you actually use all that? You know, I use my bike predominantly for touring and road riding. I don't intend taking it off, and if I took it off a track, it wouldn't be you know, something like off into a muddy area or something straight away, you know. That would be just something I've encountered, so I wouldn't need to have that all set up, I don't think. But the fact you've got the option is pretty cool.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Right, we are reviewing a couple of bikes today, and I've got the new 1100
Cross tourer.
Way, come back here, Chubby. I've got the
Chubby.
Chubby.
I've just got back from Florida and I've had a lot, but that's a bit extreme.
Anyway, Africa Twin, Adventure, and it says something else on it, doesn't it?
Sports.
Sports! Now, this is the 1100 version, so it's the new updated one. And there's been a bit of a change around in Honda because on the old version, this was the off-road version. But people didn't want it for that, they wanted it for touring. So what they've done is they've taken the other Africa Twin, which is the 18-litre tank version of it, that's the best way to describe it, and they've made that the off-road version because it's a bit smaller in size and all the rest of it. This has got a monstrous tank on it, 24-litre tank, which I think is good for about 500 kilometres, 360 miles in real money.
That's insane, really, for a bike.
It is. It is. It's got floating luggage on it that Honda produce the plastic cases for, and I think you can get metal cases for it as well. I'm not sure.
Aluminium cases for it.
You can also fit a top box on it now where you couldn't previously. 21-inch front wheel, smaller rear wheel. I'm saying that because I don't know what they are. Bridgestone A41s, are they? Tyres?
They're Bridgestone.
There's something here, isn't it? There's something there, doesn't it?
Tyres.
AX41s, which are quite nice. I've ridden it today in horrible roads actually, but it's really, really nice. This comes in the standard configuration, but there is a lower seat because the bike is a bit tall. I can't remember the actual height sizes. We tried the lower seat. What they've done is they've sculpted it a little bit to make it narrower, which is more comfortable, but I've got the standard seat on and that's perfect. I'm 5'10". 5'10". Yeah, I am. Yeah, about that. Hang on, I am shrinking because I'm getting old.
So from here,
you can see it's been, yeah, and it feels very angular when you sat on it, and it does feel a bit harder initially when you get on it, but it's actually quite comfortable.
Does it hold up to being one of the most comfortable seats we sat on a bike? With your cockpits in the front?
No. Oh, actually, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's good. It's good. Nice long seat for the pillion at the back, and we haven't tried it with the pillion, but I think that would be comfortable as well. You know, if it's not, you can put air hooks on it and things like that. We have to look at the front end now because this is a bit exciting.
Yeah, this does get exciting.
This is going to blow my head, which is easy to do.
Yeah,
but
it's a mobile phone.
It is. Let's not go there again. This is technology mad. So, look at this. Watch this.
Oh, it's like your head in the screen.
Oh, it's like watching a telly.
Look at that.
It gets better. It gets better. It goes dark. Oh, hang on. This is a touch screen, which is pressure sensitive, not heat sensitive. Now, I've got a sort of theory about this.
I'll pan back to you for theory.
Here's my theory. Garmin make their 660s, Zumo 660s, BMW Navigator 6s. They're having problems with the screens because they're touch sensitive, and the two screens get jammed together. I've just got to get a new GPS because mine's got stuck together, although that's probably not what they'll admit to, but I hope this doesn't happen with this screen here because it is a little bit touch sensitive. Anyway, the screen is amazing. You can get something called...
Right, now this is I'm going to have to pan this around because I am...
Okay, you talk.
I'm just so excited about this.
I'll hold the microphone because we haven't got an elf.
You know, people have got mobile phones, unlike Mark. Well, he has got a mobile phone, but I don't think he knew it was a mobile phone. Well,
it comes in a computer bag, that's all you need, isn't it?
Not sure about Android Auto, but if you've got an iPhone, you can plug it in and it gives you CarPlay.
And sleep. When you wake up, you won't remember this conversation.
Well, no, the good thing about that is that you have all of your navigation, all of your messages and everything comes through your phone. And if you've ever used CarPlay, CarPlay is really, really great. Some people might not like it, but it gives you the access to Waze. Some people use Waze to navigate, Google Maps, Apple Maps, all on your screen up here.
Oh!
You won't say that when you're lost somewhere and your sat-nav goes down, but somebody will come along with CarPlay and be able to do it.
You're right, you're right.
I think it's a really momentous step forward
Momentous.
Goldwings have had it for a while, haven't they?
Well,
The new ones.
Yep.
But it's starting to trickle out now that people are recognising that make these bikes, that people have got different mobile phones and want to use the stuff on there rather than spending another 600 quid on another bit of kit.
And you can plug it into the system,
Yeah.
but you can't store your phone anywhere. Or you're going to pull that off and break it now, aren't you?
Yeah. So, what's that down there, Mark?
That's a little hole. And there's a little cutout there for your wire to come out of.
Yeah. So you get your USB connection in there. Real good cover there. There's a cutout so that the wire will go down through the hole. Hopefully you'll be able to see it, but it's very dark. That will seal it, but there is nowhere to keep your phone.
So what they suggest is you thread the wire underneath here, and then Honda do a tank bag, a very small tank bag, which you can bring the wire up inside and keep your phone in, because phones aren't waterproof apparently, although most of them are.
Yeah,
and set to a very but for quite a high standard, you know, if you think how much rain you get on it.
I suppose you're not going to be driving at under 30 metres for more than 3
Do you know what I mean?
hours or something on a bike, are you?
No, so you don't have to buy into everything they tell you. But let's talk about the screen. The screen is unbelievable. There's a little button here which you can scroll through all the bits and pieces. He says trying to do it, my word. There we go, look. Oh, it's not that, it's not that. There we go, it is that. Okay, so there's different screens on. There's user 1, 2, off-road, gravel, urban, tour, and this little gold colour there. You can get gold, silver and bronze. So in each one of those screens we've just been through, there are 3 separate settings you can have. And that's what's blown my mind, because like, my God, do you need all that? But apparently you do. If you look back at the screen again there, Mr. Toby, these settings along the bottom are for power, torque,
engine braking,
you know, and you can set them up individually. So it would take us an eon to work to show you all that. We'd probably have to do a video on it as well. But you get your speed, you get your gear on it, there's a rev counter, and if you look down at the little screen at the bottom, you've also got speed, range, and a gear indicator there as well. So really sexy. I love it. It is very nice, and there's no reflection back from the sun or anything like that.
And what's that?
There's a little cover which probably does nothing.
Well, but I bet it does in a lot of situations, and it's going to keep a lot of the water and stuff from dripping down, because we get an issue with the water dripping down on ours, don't we? Because there's nothing to stop it.
Yeah. Okay, so there is a screen adjusting, same as the Honda screen on a lot of bikes now. You just press that in and it goes up in 5 different positions. Now I'll do this one and move it because it is really, really high. Look at that.
Wow. Let's go to the front. It's really high.
It's really high. And there's a little gap there, which we found out is to reduce buffeting on the helmet. I've been riding it on the lowest position, which is perfect for me. Look at this massive bunch of things here. I thought the BMW was bad.
You need to talk about that button while you're talking about the
I spoke about that while I was riding. This is the start button. You can set this up to have just be riding normally, and then if you turn off into a track somewhere, you can have preset this to riding on gravel tracks using the screen and all the rest of it. So you just press that and instantly it will change to riding on a gravel track. Do you know what I mean? I don't need that personally. However, people will want that because it's a gadget.
But you can use that for programming different things, can't you? So if you're going touring, but then you're going to be on a motorway, you can perhaps change it to a different setting that doesn't give you all that power that gives you better fuel economy, perhaps.
I'm sure you can. And there was something else I had to tell you then as well. But it's gone. It's gone. What was it?
I can get you into a shelter by nightfall, Mark.
Thank you. Yeah, so there's running lights on it. There are also cornering lights that come on when you go over 30. You're not going to work very well, but they are underneath there.
There and there.
So you don't need the extra running lights like you see on a lot of adventure bikes now. You know, the extra, some look horrendous, don't they? These are really, really quite discreet inside the actual main light cluster, which is LED lights and everything. The way they've narrowed the bike is they've actually narrowed the chassis on it. Apparently they've taken out some of the struts or something. It is now only 230 kilos instead of 250 kilos, and that makes a big difference when you're riding it. This is like you were just explaining about the cross runner.
Yeah,
cross runner, really flickable, really, really nice, and it just goes. And I've got a real problem now, I've got to say this, because when I come to change my GS Adventure and I'm looking at other bikes, I've got a couple in mind now. I like the BMW 850 GS Adventure, really, really nice bike. I also like the older version of this, but the seat was a bit garbage and it was very, very tall. But they've adjusted that now. They've taken into account that people don't all want that. So now I've got to consider this. Bugger.
What a problem to have.
Oh, I don't know. It's a chain, but I'm sort of, you know, I'm not doing so many tours. Maybe I don't need to do that at the moment. Nice to see that they've got on the foot pegs the rubber bungs so that you don't get your boots destroyed. And the engine is just the standard, you know, finely Honda machined engine. But again, it's got a massive aluminium bash plate on it. You know,
Now got a dent in it.
all right. But you know, there's these. Some people are manufacturing adventure bikes and they're putting these crappy little plastic ones on. You know, that does the business, doesn't it? And it's Honda. I love the colour scheme. I love the gold wheels. It's just a really, really, really nice bike. And you can't quite see it, but angled valve stems. Oh, it's not rocket science, is it, having to do something like that? Notice how the exhaust is really quite pointing up. On quite a lot of these bikes, it's a bit horizontal, but this one is definitely, you know, it's designed to go off-road if it really has to. I just love it. I really do like it. What do you want me to say? Anything else? Wing mirrors, we've been through wing mirrors. They're really nice. They're good position, good size. You don't get any reflection. It's just a really nice thing to ride.
And they've got all these guards and things. That's one of the things that I would have liked that they would have had on the Cross Runner, is the guards.
Handguards, yeah.
Just that tiny bit of warmth.
I've seen some aftermarket versions of these. You get some massive ones. They've got flashing lights on them now and everything, you know. So it's just, I love it. A key, it's not keyless start. It's got the HISS Honda security system thing, so not the right key, it won't start the bike.
And also you've got the luggage that you can put on here. You talked about that, but what did you say about that?
I did say about that. That's where you can put a top box now. Here are 4 screws, 4 screw holes. So that works really well, doesn't it? So it's a very short video because I don't want anyone else to buy one. I love it. If you like the video, give us a big thumbs up. You're looking at me there now like I've missed something. And subscribe. Toby does all that sort of stuff, and we'll see you on the road.